future, here, now, to share some deals which are new to both of us.
This is about to get a little more complicated, but not too much, unless you're a dummy. So listen up, as putting this in a timeline explanation makes me look like I have a huge ego, and I'm only putting it here for those who want to keep things straight. So if you've been watching the last few months, you know I've introduced 2 timelines of unreleased finds / pickup videos. The videos filmed starting early in 2016 are hosted by an affable, full of moxie shelf from the past, while the set of videos filmed in this far-flung future of the year 2017 are hosted by the mysterious shelf from the future. Recently I went on a trip to visit family on the East Coast, and while I could just wait until things line up in an old future episode, I decided it would be a fun one-shot to watch this video somewhat contemporaneously with its film date, so enjoy.
Alright, I'm gonna be brief because I made absolutely no preparations coming up here, and I don't want to turn into the mess I was 2 years ago. 2 pieces. Alright, here I am on my yearly family visit back in my attic / sauna, and it's like 90 degrees outside but 900 in here, so yeah, let's just get to it. Per usual, I went out to the I was gonna say flea markets, but I was kind of lazy this year, and part of that is because, yeah, I kind of did give up hope on some of these flea markets just because year after year haven't been finding anything. But at this one flea market I always go to, I seem to always find stuff I like, so I managed to muster up some strength to go to that one, and I had some success. So you know, all of New Jersey's finest flea marketers were there. 95% less pop, which was, I say 95% because I was walking around this market, and just as the thought was hitting me like, wow, there's absolutely no pop at this flea market, you know, I guess the fad is over. I go down this one aisle, and it seems like all the sellers on this aisle just seemed to hoard all the pop, and it was just like one seller after the next. I was just tripping over them, and I was tempted actually to buy. I was tempted to buy one this time because, I mean, where else am I gonna find Real Monsters merchandise? But anyways, I left it there. It was $10, but it wasn't that. It was just I can't get over those stupid beady eyes. I just want a regular Ickis figure if I find one. But yeah, showed up 40 minutes early, and a lot of people were already set up. You know, this one video game guy was setting up, and you know, people just pass by when your table's setting up. But I ask questions. Do you have any mails? Do you have any Game Boy?
Is this all the stuff you're setting up today?
Yeah, that and that.
Do you know it's like any of your PlayStation stuff there is? Like the police chases or the Disney game?
$5 each. Hercules, yeah, maybe 5, I guess.
Flipping through, and I go, oh, can I see Hercules? And I've heard good things about Hercules here. Paid $5 for this. The disc is, it works. You know, my brother bought it off his PlayStation, but yeah, this game, it so could be a decent game. You know, something that you could play, but there seems to be like the hit detection. There feels like a delay because of the animations of the characters. Very nice, but it seems off. And you know, you'll miss jumps, especially in these 3D running sections, and it's very frustrating to play this game. But I did beat it, and yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend playing this game. It's more frustration than anything. So, and plus, I'm not the cutscenes. I mean, the whole the intersection, whatever. I can't think of the word right now, but the intermissions between each level, they just seem so disconnected. So, anyways. I did find one nice seller there that I made some good deals. A lot of the people there were, of course, selling eBay prices, and this guy kind of was no different. But he said he was selling, he said he was selling his collection, and he had all his Nintendo games out in front of him. And you know, when you hear someone say like they're selling their collection, a little bell should go off and go in your head. You should go like, man, you know, there's this guy could give me some really good deals. But he had all his Sega stuff in this bin on the ground. It was kind of jumbled up. He had some other stuff in a milk crate, and I picked up Scooby Doo, the point and click game.
Maniac Mansion is a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
But
this man, maybe just because it's Scooby Doo, they kind of rushed it or something.
No, I'm just not a fan of point and clicks.
Great condition, complete. And I asked him how much he wanted for it. He said $10.
Do you know what you want for Scooby?
Probably 10. Let me check.
I'll give you 10 for it.
Because it's kind of an expensive game, especially when you want to get the box and the manual. And I don't know if it's decent at all. I want to try it out. But anyways, he looked it up on his phone, unfortunately, and he's started saying, oh, maybe I'd do 30. It seems to go for a little bit more. But he seemed to, really know his Nintendo stuff. I asked for prices of things. Well, how much is River City Ransom? $40. How much is Turtles 3? $30. But the Sega stuff, he seemed to not care so much about. So I saw there some really decent Sega games.
What about the Power Rangers?
15 on Power Rangers, 15 on Rise Star.
What about XMen?
10.
We got Rise Star and XMen 2. Both of these are box upgrades for me, but Rise Star is like I'm surprised the price I got for this. It's a pretty, not only is it a great game, in fact, I would say if it's not my favorite Genesis game, it's definitely in the top. But Rise Star, it's a pretty expensive game to find, especially because of the boxes, they get crushed, so depending on the condition, price can vary. It's got this sticker here, which I'm gonna blast with atomic heat, hair dryer to get it off, but yeah, both of the games work. X-Men gives you the option of playing 2 players again like the first game, but it's really frustrating. One of the things I noticed about the Sega X-Men games is they're the only, I think Sega is the only place where you can play as Nightcrawler. But both of these I got for $10. I think he wanted 15 at first. He quoted me 15 for Rise Star. I pulled out, I got a 20 ready from my pocket, and I was like,
Would you do 20 just for these 2?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
One thing I actually noticed at the market was there was a guy selling some really high-priced Nintendo stuff. Only 2, really. He had some Nobunaga or whatever, complete in box, and he had an Action 52, and I couldn't believe it in my eyes. I don't know if people talk much about Action 52 anymore, that it has some sort of mythos behind it, especially since they remade it, they reprinted the cards. But he had an original one with the box, and I guess it had the manual and all, but it said it had a price of $200. Kind of rough condition, and I knew it probably went for more than that at the time, but I really wasn't going to drop $200 for one thing at a seller at a flea market. You can't even, I could test it out at home, but even so, it was just like maybe I'd make $100 or $200. It's not a game I would want in my collection. It's utter shit. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I had more fun browsing the toy sellers because, at a flea market it seems like everybody's selling toys for 50 cents. So I found some nice things. Found a Bucky O'Hare figure. I decided to leave it. Now I'm kind of regretting it. But I already have too much junk on my shelves. Anyways, I am glistening right now, and I have to get out of here. Because it's not good for me. It's definitely not good for the chips on these cards. So it's out there. Now go get it.